If it is my privilege to be a witness and champion of reason, then so be it. Though the whole world knows how little I deserve such an honor. For while reason has stood and guided us in the right direction, I have cowardly averted my eyes, pretending not to see what all in their secret hearts know to be true. That we live in a world of brutal injustice, dying as we speak in its own stinking poison. That whole nations have been raped, robbed, and thrown into slavery so that we few can enjoy the pleasures we indulge ourselves with. That for all our pretense at honor, grace, and beauty, we are broken, crippled monsters plundering the earth. And while reason points ever clearly the path to justice and survival, I have joined the throng leaping to destruction for fear. For fear of what? For fear of you? For fear of you mental dwarves with your sticks and your burning crosses and your hate? For fear of you morons quoting literature without understanding it, pawing at art without feeling it, breathing air without smelling it? For fear of you and your guns and your madness and your tantrums? For fear of you and what you may do as you are doing it? But reason still stands unsullied, and reason will be there in 1,000 years when the new dark age itself will be no more than a footnote in history, and on that day I will have a name. Even if it's only the name of a victim. But you will have no name at all. So, I was spawned in Tufnell Park. That's no more than a stone's throw from the Angel, a monkey's fart from Tottenham, or a bolt of phlegm from Stamford Hill. It's a cesspit, right? A scumhole dense with the drabs who prop up corner pubs. The kind of pubs where old arseholes assemble. The boring turds who save for Christmas with clubs. My mum did that. Save all year for a slaggy Christmas party of boozy old relatives in Marks and Sparks cardigans who stand all year doing as little as they can while they got one hand in the boss's till and the other scratching their balls. They'd all come over and vomit up Guinness and Mum's unspeakable excuse for cuisine all over the bathroom, adjust their dentures, rage against the blacks, envying their cocks, loathe the yids, envying their gelt, hate everything under 30 that walks and fall asleep in front of the telly. So they gather in the pubs, usually a smelly corner pub run by rancid thick as pig shit Paddy, who sold nothing but booze and crisps in various chemical flavours to their yokel patrons, who played incessant games of cruddy darts, drinking yards of stale Nat's piss beer and chatter like, "How'd you see Arsenal last week? I think England's team's all washed up. But what about the Bay dribbling? Oh, no, he's lost his bottle. I do leave off." The stink of the pub rises now, and the OAPs sit in the corner staring out into the dreams that they never had, with a drip of snot hanging off the ends of their nose, and they try to make a pint last 4 hours. Start crowding up now, and the paddy starts raving fucking time and pulling the glass out of your hand while he's bursting your eardrums, screaming like a sergeant major. His wife attempts to shovel some paint on her evil, hate-all face that looks like it's been applied by a drunken epileptic on a roller coaster. "Hello, love!" She foams, staring out of a yellow face with little snot-brown eyes like 2 raisins and a plate of porridge. And if by chance you lead over the counter too far, some bastard monster Alsatian leaps at you, his dripping fangs simply dying to rip your fucking throat out. So I gave up going to the corner pub with its late-night chorus of lurchy goodnight and see you till. We got wine bars now. Handsome. I've always been a big-time movie buff. Always loved the stars, especially tough man films. Guys like Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney, Edward G. Robinson, Robert De Niro, or Bobby D, as I like to call him. Guys like Bruce Willis, Al Pacino, those guys, and a whole bunch more. I'm a big fan of gangster films. My thing was trying to capture what they did in the movie in my real life. Like in the movie Goodfellas, when Joe Pesci took the screwdriver and he stuck it in the back of that loudmouth's skull. I tried that.
Or like in the movie The Godfather when Luca Brasi was choked from behind. One of the best scenes in movie history, by the way, if you ask me. I love that scene. How he struggled to live even though he was slowly dying. God, beautiful. It was beautiful. Those guys are geniuses. Anyway, I took the choke approach at least, 2 or 3 times with my own work, but I could never figure out how to watch it because I always choke from behind. I tried a mirror, but it wasn't the same. They call me Soul. It's short for Solomon. I don't have much soul. Ha! But that's the irony of life. Soul's just a concept, though, don't you think?
William Shakespeare was a successful man of the emerging entertainment industry of Elizabethan England. He was an actor, a sharer in the acting company, that is, no mere hireling, but a partner entitled to share in its profits, and, of course, a leading playwright. He began, however, more humbly. We know a remarkable amount for this period about Shakespeare and his family. He was born late in April 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon. The parish church records his baptism on the 26th of April. His unrecorded birth date is conventionally set 3 days earlier on the 23rd of April, St. George's Day, and also, apparently, the day of Shakespeare's death. His father was John Shakespeare, a glover and later a wool merchant, and his mother was Mary Arden, daughter of a well-established farmer in the nearby village of Wilmcote. Though the records have not survived, we can safely assume that he attended the King's New School, the Stratford Grammar School with its strenuous, classically based curriculum, but we also know for certain that at the age of 18 he married Anne Hathaway, also of Stratford, and that a daughter, Susanna, was born to them, as the parish records note, on the 26th of May 1583. On the 2nd of February 1585, the register records the birth of twins, Hamnet and Judith.
Time is the longest distance between two places. Not long after, I was fired for writing a poem on the lid of a shoebox. I left Scotland. I descended the steps of this fire escape for the last time and followed from then on in my father's footsteps, attempting to find in motion what was lost in space. I travelled around a great deal. The cities swept about me like dead leaves that were brightly coloured but torn away from the branches. I would have stopped, but I was pursued by something. It always came upon me unawares, taking me altogether by surprise. Perhaps it was a familiar bit of music. Perhaps it was only a piece of transparent glass. Perhaps I'm walking along a street at night in some strange city before I've found a companion. I passed the lighted window of a shop where perfumes sold. The windows filled with pieces of coloured glass, tiny transparent bottles in delicate colours, like bits of shattered rainbow. Then all at once, my sister, she touches my shoulder. I turn around and look into her eyes. I tried to leave you behind me, but I'm more faithful than I intended to be.
Yes, Mrs. Bajorsky, I did read Moby Dick over the summer like I was supposed to. It was bodacious. Actually, it's Moby-Dick. The title's got this little hyphen before the dick. And what is the meaning of this dash before the dick? Whoa. Another mystery in this awesome American masterpiece. A peerless allegorical saga of mortal courage, metaphysical ambiguity, and maniacal obsession. What, Mrs. Bajorsky? Oh, you don't believe I really read Herman Melville's Moby-Dick or The Whale? 562 pages, 14 ounces, published in 1851, totally tanked its first weekend, re-released in the 1920s, and recognized as one of the world's gnarliest works of art. You think I copped all this like off the back of the dome, or by watching the crappy 1956 film starring Gregory Peck? Mrs. P, you've been on my tail since middle school. Do I get all testy? Do I say, Hey, what's the plot of Moby Dick in under 2 minutes, besides a whale and a hyphen? Moby Dick in 2 minutes, huh? Okay, cool. Take out your stopwatch. Let's rip.
I was a hockey player. Pretty good one, too. I was having my best season, setting minor league records, just generally kicking ass. They were talking about moving me up to the majors. All my life, I dreamed of playing in the NHL. It was this close. I shouldn't have played that night. It was a Tuesday. Black Tuesday, I call it. I took a couple of bad hits in Sunday's game and my back was bugging me. The team doctor didn't think I should play, but I told him to get stuffed. A scout from the NHL was there that night to see the game. To see me play. I couldn't spend the whole game on the bench just because my back hurt, right? Christ, I was stupid. It was early in the third period. The other team were losing badly. We were in top form that night. The other guy's coach told his people, get out there and take out the goon. That was me. My main job was enforcer. I guess it's a natural progression for a schoolyard bully. You know, I never thought about it before, but I spent most of my life just pushing people around. What happened seemed like retribution, like payback. Anyway, I got caught from behind with a cross-check and slammed into the boards. Now, I'd hit the boards before, lots of times, no problem. But this time, something went pop. The doctors say it was my 7th vertebrae or something like that. They say you can't hear it when it breaks, especially in an arena full of screaming hockey fans, but I heard it. Clear as day. Sort of a snap-pop sound. It was the only sound in the whole arena. It seemed to echo forever. The whole world just stopped. The second it happened, I knew exactly what it was. I knew. It was all over. And I screamed. Not because it hurt, but because it didn't hurt. I didn't feel a thing. And every morning, I still don't feel a thing. Not a damn thing.
I'm supposed to stand out there on the road doing this job, in all weathers. It's just that I'm well got with the head security man here at Hawkins' house and he let me use his hut. One of my superiors, a customer service manager, came and caught me here the other day. I was eating a sandwich and he reported me to divisional manager. Said I was drinking tea. Just shows you the way he was fed as a young lad when he doesn't know the difference between 2 slices of bread and a cup of tea. I was only here for 3 minutes when he caught me, so I nicknamed him the 3-minute man. I passed on the sobriquet to my subordinates, without elaboration or explanation, and it took on the desired connotation. That's nearly 3 months ago, and I haven't seen him since. But he could appear any time. He might be here this morning. He's like that. Goes underground for ages and suddenly reappears like a dose of syphilis that wasn't caught in time. You won't see him if it's raining, though. There are 4 species that don't like getting wet. Asses, cats, corner boys, and customer service managers.
So a couple of years ago, right, I was in Rio de Janeiro, and we were there for Carnival, and I was there with just mainly people I'd just met, right, and it was a guy there from someone else from London was there. There was a guy from Australia, which was kind of nice, and so we all sort of went walking and sort of made a bit of a squad out of ourselves, and we went out one day walking along the beach, and we were just sort of our little swagger, sort of showing off what little bits of Portuguese we knew and whatever, and all of a sudden these other 3 guys, like these 3 sort of locals, sort of approached us and start speaking to us in this sort of fluent, really fast Portuguese, and we'll sort of look at each other like,
sort of no follow kind of thing, like we don't speak it, and we couldn't work out what I was saying, and they looked a bit intimidating, you know. And well, first thing that I thought was, right, well, here we go, there's some mugging, you know, because they know that we're not from around here, we're a bit pasty, whatever, and we sort of got a bit scared, you know, and sort of tried to walk away, and they kept following, and they're sort of speaking broken English, and they're like, oh, you know, can we take a photo of you? They wanted to take a photo of us using my phone. And so we sort of hesitated, but then thought, well, if we deny it, then what more trouble are we getting ourselves into, you know? So we sort of like really hesitated, and then I gave my phone to this guy, right, 'cause idiot, and like sure enough, he steps back, he gets his other two friends to step into a photo of us, and he just takes a photo, and that's it. And he gives my camera back, and he was never intending on doing anything wrong. And it was the strangest thing, and I felt this overwhelming sense of guilt, thinking that this guy was just going to mug us. I felt really horrible, but we've since kept in touch with him, and he's one of the nicest guys I think I've ever met. I've met his baby, just the cutest thing, and we've become really good mates now. Yeah.
How like a winter hath my absence been from thee, the pleasure of the fleeting year. What freezings have I felt, what dark days seen, what old December bareness everywhere. And yet, this time removed was summer's time. The teeming autumn big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burden of the pram like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. Yet this abundant issue seems to me but hopes of orphans and unfathered fruit. For summer and his pleasures wait on thee, and thou away the very birds are mute. Or if they sing, 'tis with so dull a cheer that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near.
I just need the chance, man. You know, just one chance. We don't ask for much. We work hard for almost nothing. We risk imprisonment and death by jumping the border to come to this country. We clean toilets, we wash dishes. You know, we don't mind doing the things that Americans would not want to do. We'll do whatever it takes to be a citizen, you know. I miss my family, I say. I have a little girl back home in Mexico. My wife. I miss them very much, you know, my friend. I send them money. I live enough to pay rent and eat food. One day, I dream about having my family live with me in the United States. I love this country, but I'm not allowed to take legal residency here. I do this all for my family, man, you know? Mi familia. To get away from the drugs. It's very bad for me and where I'm from. I don't believe in the drugs, and work over there is not enough to support my wife and daughter. I want to be like you. To make a good life worth living. That's all, you know? I'm not so sure anymore if my wishes will ever be... You know, not with what's going on right now. I'm not sure how much longer this will last. I'm afraid. Tengo miedo. Right now I'm a busboy. But one day I wish to be a chef. That's my American dream.
Charles Dickens was born on the 7th of February 1812 in Landport in Portsmouth. His father was a clerk in the Navy Pay Office who often ended up in financial trouble. When Dickens was 12 years old, he was sent to work in a shoe polish factory because his father had been imprisoned for debt. In 1833, he began to publish short stories and essays in newspapers and magazines. The Pickwick Papers, his first commercial success, was published in 1836, the same year that he married Catherine Hogarth. Many other novels followed, and Dickens became a celebrity in America as well as Britain. A Tale of Two Cities was published in 1859. He also set up and edited the journals Household Words and All Year Round. Charles Dickens died on the 9th of June 1870, leaving his last novel, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, unfinished. He's buried in Westminster Abbey.
You keep trying to dig through layers of who I am, and all you're reaching now is pure 100% bone. There ain't nothing left of me, Ellen. Now, I've tried and tried to get through to you, to talk some sense into this whole idea you got going about unlocking a deeper part of me, when all I know is that there ain't no deeper part of anything in me. I'm just an average man, like any other average man. Ain't nothing, not ever. Not ever. So do me a favor and stop trying to dig me out like there's some hidden treasure inside my chest. It all needs to stop, and it needs to stop as sure as now as these words come out of my mouth is all. So I'm gonna go on out back and check on Wizard and see if he's getting on all right now.